the Grizzlies is looking kind of crazy. I don't know.
And you gotta let the beat come in real nice and smooth.
I was just still stuck on the deals we were just talking about. And it's funny that was just the first deal of free agency.
Yeah, well, free agency.
It might be nothing, honestly, but
free agency is free. Freelance, free spirited, free for all, free for the hoes, free for the flaming moles.
And most importantly, freewheeling, because you can't really figure out why some of these deals get signed. But,
all right, but is it wheeling? Is it dealing? Is it kiss stealing?
Styling, profiling,
jet
riding.
Sometimes niggas be
jet
wildin'.
flying, excuse me, limousine riding.
Yeah, I won't yell it, but
Nah, it's kind of late,
The woo.
I mean, actually, it's interesting you brought him up before I launch into the intro here, because the E fired him today, I believe, or they let him go. They let him out of his contract. So Ric Flair's going to AEW, baby. Nah, imagine though. He might though. He might.
Oh no,
Double A is there, so you never know.
I'm saying the comeback of the old Four Horsemen.
That would be so weird. So fucking weird right now.
I mean, definitely him and Double A, but
the Two Horsemen.
two of them things.
Nah, Dean Malenko is there too. The Three Horsemen.
Well, nobody ever thinks about him, so maybe Sting, but
I mean, he better than Mongo, son.
At least Mongo's funny.
Mongo was pretty funny.
And he is
terrible in the ring, though.
Well, he's a Super Bowl champion, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to I would say most of those 90s, maybe even 80s football stars that got into the game of wrestling in the 90s.
Like LT?
I mean, LT, like The Rock, but he's on the upper echelons of the shit. But at least most of them were, entertaining. I wasn't around in the 70s, but, that was definitely
The Fridge was was there too, though, so.
Oh, no, and that was definitely, that was like right after that chip, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever that was, WrestleMania 2 or 3, whenever they had that big man battle royal, and who did he pull out? Was that Big John Studd?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's how you know niggas is old, and I'm not a mark, but I used to be a fan,
man. With all that said, on some Mark shit. Welcome back to the Triple P.
That being the plex that is the most perfect within the podcast.
Shout out to her Hennig. R.I.P. to the legend.
Shout out to he who was perfect.
He will always be perfect.
Shout out to the towel. It will never hit the ground.
Shout out to the gum that got slapped into the crowd.
Shout out to the original coach, wherever you are with your whistle.
Bill Alfonso owes you a great debt.
And maybe some substances. We don't ever know, but come on, daddy.
So tell them who you are. You go first this time. You're going to switch shit up. Got to keep them on their toes and shit.
Well, I mean, I'm always about the southpaw, and I'm always about the. See, I want to say Rocky 3 because that's the commercial shit. I always enjoyed seeing Rocky 4 on Channel 11 back in the day, so I'm gonna go with that one. But, and I mean, regardless, the gloves is in the air. The bandit who is light is in the red corner, and I got Afro Thunder in my corner.
That's right. I'm in the corner. The Liquid Snake, like fucking Lil Max Trainer. Know what I'm saying? Riding the bike.
You know what I'm saying?
Mari out here. I don't know if you're going to wear a pink sweatsuit. You're going to wear a pink sweatsuit while we jogging by the East River in the dead of the morning, son, like 6 in the morning?
You know what? Depending on the opponent, I may do that while bumping every last one of Killer Kim's albums, especially that that Come Home With Me, and especially that Killer Season. Definitely, as I told you a few days ago, definitely rewatched that. That was much like when I saw it when I was probably like 15. It was an experience, but being older, it was hilarious though. Shit was hilarious, and if I do the pink sweatsuit, I'm gonna have to do the pink fur coming out with the pink tights on some Mayweather shit. Speaking of Mayweather shit, that was definitely when he fought your man Zab the Judah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of lost hopes and dreams with that, but
yeah, they wanted him to be the new hotness so bad, along with what's that Prince nigga, Prince Nassim or whatever, son.
I was about to say Prince Ikea, but
he's another one. He was more over than them first two.
That TV title, baby. But nah. The Prince, he was just mad cocky. He was like the Middle Eastern version of your man Paul Malignaggi, son. But Paul may have been a little bit better. They both danced a lot, so whatever. But this ain't a boxing cast.
Paulie Malignaggi. I could beat Conor McGregor up.
The game of boxing is having more intrigue, mostly because of their entertainment.
Where's that boxing match? You think that would have been like an instant sign? Like, even though Paulie gives up size to him, like,
who that?
Conor McGregor, son.
Oh, I mean, no. Conor will knock Paul the fuck out.
I don't care. I want to see that.
And that's
especially after all that wild shit he talked. Oh, I fucking dropped him. I know it's a terrible Paulie accent, but this nigga was crying about how Conor's a bitch or whatever. Which, he's kind of, I guess.
That was a horrible Italian accent, but
I'm just trying to recall the accent he threw in the interview because he was tight. Paulie. But he was over here crying about how he could beat Conor McGregor, and I was like, yo, I'd like to see that.
You know what? And just to answer your question real quick before we get back to what we were talking about, which was the frenzy. Paul was one of the original trolls in boxing before trolling became popular. So people don't like him, son.
I gathered that.
But like, it's not on a wave of, like the wrestling villain where you don't like him and you want to see him lose. It's just like you just don't want to like him, nor do you want to see him.
But I also would have liked to see if he dropped Conor McGregor, because that would have been cool.
Or just got knocked the fuck out.
Either way, I won. You know what I'm saying?
K-Lo to the heat, man.
And son gets paid. Like, what's bad about that? Like,
well, he's getting those commentating checks.
That's true. He's chilling. Really? K-Lo's the first guy?
Yes, he is.
I say as a Rockets loyalist, where's that alternate reality where Kyle Lowry stayed in Houston and got busy?
I only say that because outside of the brother Mans.
Well, before you continue, I guess that's the first best question, right? What was the most in the last 4 or 5 days? What is the most impactful trade that has happened thus far in this round of NBA free agency in the summer of 2021?
Again, those are two different questions because there were pre-free agency trades that happened during draft day, and
it all counts. It's in the same realm.
It does, but legally it doesn't, and that's why I say that. But
we're not beholden to those rules. Free agency starts July motherfucking 1st, as it has since time immemorial, when the first basketball was carved out of fucking stone by Moses.
Even though this is August 3rd. Well, again, clearly the biggest thing was the Westbrook situation, but again,
to you, like, what's the most impactful? Because that's the one everyone's gonna pick. Like, it's not
even to me. Like, that's the biggest one that has to be discussed.
Right.
But again, for me, I don't. That again, you asked what was the biggest trade. Clearly, it was that. Now, again, like I said, I separate that from the free agency because those are two different animals. You know what I'm saying? Like a draft day trade and you copping out on somebody free agency it's two different things. But no, the thing to talk about in the I won't call it the Spice Melange, but you know what I'm saying, the Red Devil is, the Red Devil on the fish sandwich is obviously Brother Sexbrook to the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? And because number one, he went to a team that won a chip 2 seasons ago, albeit in the bubble. But
and has 2 top 5 players on it, or
yes,
top
sir.
10
Yes,
players
sir.
on
Yes,
it.
sir.
You know.
Yes, sir. And clearly that's the thing to talk about. LeBron okaying that is really why everybody wants to speak about that, just because the logical mind at first would say, yeah, if Westbrook didn't work with KD, how is he going to work with Brother Bronovich? But once you sit back and look, really, really dissect it, you understand that, again, the Lakers needed an energy man, and Westbrook may be the best energy man outside of Brother D. Rodman.
Also, I think they're hoping that, as they have with many other players with varying degrees of success, they're hoping that LeBron's kind of bison hand, is kind of like
his influence.
His influence, because he is influential. Some players rise to the occasion and respond well to him, and others don't. And so maybe, and this is what I feel delusional fans, because I always go with trends, especially when it comes to this basketball shit. It's not that Russell Westbrook is a bad player. He's just an inefficient one. He refuses to shoot. He will not work on his shooting game for whatever reason. I have postulated, along with other NBA nerds that I've talked to, that he is hurt in some way or his form is off in some way. And again, here's my I'm not an athlete disclaimer, but I've just been watching this dude for a long time, and he just refuses to shoot purely unless he has to. In Houston, he had to shoot threes. In Washington, he had to shoot a little bit more. But
it's that LeBron shit, though,
he
bro.
won't. So it's like,
like him and LeBron are in the same boat in that they both had to carry the load. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, when you look back at it, you're looking at LeBron being, whatever your fucking favorite James Bond villain was, GoldenEye, fucking a Lockjaw, whatever, son. Like
GoldenEye 006. That was 006 in that
006,
one.
even my man that
Alex Trevelyan.
even my man that was in No Country for Old Men, that was the villain in fucking Skyfall, son.
Word. Hitting niggas with the
fucking trains.
The pressure gun, saying the gator killer, the cow killer.
Yo, you go from pressure guns to fucking bombs and trains?
Yeah.
That's a big flex right there.
So now that we're talking about Russell, do I think LeBron is the key? No. I think this dude
LeBron is always the key, bro.
I think he will help him. I think they will complement each other, especially because of their play style.
No. I've been thinking about this shit all day, brother. Nah, like honestly, and the way this shit works is Russell Westbrook has to be their number one option. He's the number one option. LeBron is the point guard.
But how if he's not gonna shoot? Unless he shoots. If he starts shooting,
he's playing with the best point guard in the league, brother.
But is he gonna shoot? Because he's played with many elite point guards, at least definitely all-star ones.
You know what? I have enough faith. Not enough faith for them to win a chip, but I have enough faith in LeBron to where he'll set Sexbrook up so much to where his shooting won't matter.
Well, if they and I know we always do this
in the regular season, postseason is a different story. Clearly,
I even think they can cover that up as much as you can, because now this is a shooters league. Let's face it, like Like Russ has the power game, but
Yes.
it's like, and it's valuable. It is.
I'll put it like this: if
Like-
AD gets the MVP this season, then I don't know how the Lakers don't win the chip, even against the fucking vaulted Nets. Son.
And he just takes a lot of. He gives them the firepower they needed, especially if they're smart. They start him at the 2 guard finally.
And that's what I'm saying, though. You
finally
start him
But,
at the 2.
I don't think they will because they got rid of Alex Caruso. So who do they put in his place? Like,
Wow.
they don't have really. They're kind of anemic right now, and they said they're going to get more people, which
Listen,
they will. But
this
like,
may be the most talented makeshift Braun team ever, but there's. I mean,
what, besides that stacked
listen.
Cleveland team before he left for LA.
I mean, listen, boy, we jumping around, but you ain't bring up the acquisition of one of your favorites in mine, one of the sneakiest, probably the inventor of the sneaky link, son. The one who got a key still in, what was that, game 2 of the 2009 Western Conference Finals? That being the one and only Trevor Ariza.
He's not a guard though.
But he plays D, and he's one of the original 3-and-D niggas, which is what they need.
I'm not shitting on it. I just they need guards.
No.
Like,
Yo,
you know.
honestly, they do.
It's a good pickup.
No,
So is
they need a point guard, yes.
so is Dwight Howard. Like these are
That was, again,
and
another-
Cam Bazemore. Like those are good pickups. Like, but
That's enough. Like
it doesn't
honestly,
solve the problem. It makes me wonder, why did you get rid of Alex Caruso, who was progressing very nicely? Honestly,
because he wanted that bag.
then pay him. He's
Well,
a
listen.
champion.
LeBron has he's dragged way worse to the finals.
I understand that, and it just annoys me. And again, I'm not like that. I don't got the Alex Caruso jersey hanging in my closet or whatever. I don't even.
No, it is annoying
but-
because we've been going through this shit since 2010, son. These
With him-
makeshift Braun teams.
And with
son.
him specifically on the Lakers, like you have players that show incredible promise who just need a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And I understand that he is we're the same age, right? I'm 36, he's 36. I understand that he doesn't have much time left being LeBron or whatever. Like,
Yeah, he ain't got time to worry about shit.
I
but
get that, and feelings and development and all that. I get that. But at
not
the
for
same
nothing, the Lakers have been known for being that type of franchise anyway. so
absolutely, but
the
you know,
combination is vicious.
I get all of that. But if you have players that Josh Hart was different, right? Because he had
Lonzo was different.
you know, they had the flashes of being brilliant. You knew they were going to be
Brandon
good.
Ingram was different.
They were all different, but
Julius, you know what I'm saying, is different, son.
but he also saw the writing on the wall. He's like, "Oh, this nigga, like, I'm not gonna have a place in the scheme."
Which is
So,
stupid because he would have.
He would. I say that all the time, but you know,
He would just had to develop that J a little bit earlier, but
it would have been fine. But again, clearly, as we've discussed in prior episodes, people aren't fucking with Bron. Like, they just don't for whatever reason. And this is part of it. Like, as keen a basketball mind as he has, you can tell that he is a guy who's like, oh, I'm just going to call my mans up that are available and just get them on this team. And we'll, like you said, we'll carry, I carried, you know, Zdrunas Ilgauskas, you know what I'm saying, to the like, I understand the mindset because that's how good he is. But at the same time, like, I'm surprised that he doesn't seem to understand team chemistry and being this GM, considering how great a point guard he
like
has
I
been
said,
for so many
before
years.
LeBron, it was that Peyton Manning shit, bro.
It seems that point guards don't do well in the GM position, whether officially or unofficially.
point guards, quarterbacks, or
I guess except for Jerry West, right?
well, first of all, he was a lead guard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there you go.
Arguably, I'm not that much of an NBA historian to say he was the original lead guard, but he was.
I thought you were gonna say he was the best league guard ever.
Oh no. Honestly, I have shit. Hey, stay tuned for that list, folks. But if you put me on the spot right now, I may have to give it to D Wade, man. Overall, I may have to give it to D Wade because people forget, like, he came in, the Heat drafted him as a point guard. So. But he's probably really 6'3", but they say he's 6'4", played bigger than he really was, gave you everything on both ends. I think he was one of the first guards to have, like, 100 steals, like 100 blocks in like maybe like 5 straight seasons, some wild shit like that. Something you thought Jordan probably would have had, but you know. And I may have your man Clyde the Glide second. I gotta think about it, but he even said he preferred playing the small forward, so I don't know.
They had a big team and a tough one. Also, he had the ball in his hand a lot, so it was kind of weird. Like I don't want to say the '90s basketball was different because it wasn't really like, but
it was different.
It had a different kind of flavor in the way positions were looked.
Totally different mindset.
Were looked at. You know what I'm saying?
It was a totally different mindset.
I would argue that even the small forward is more important now than it was then, because there was so much focus placed on size and your big men in the front court. And I often feel like in my childhood watching basketball, except for like dudes like Anthony Mason. I know it's a weird example, but that's what comes
no.
That's what comes to mind right now. Like those slasher forwards, like other than them.
He wasn't really a slasher. He was more of like, I'm gonna pound you out in the post, and maybe I'm gonna hit this mid range.
Yeah, but he took it inside. Like his game was bold, for the time, especially since that was a shooters league back then too. Like much like it is now. It's this weird cyclical thing that keeps happening.
It was. I would say that you are right in regards to the '90s. Clearly, the '80s probably was the birth and the metamorphosis of the small forward, mostly because of the doctor, who in all reality probably was an undersized small forward, but he was the doctor and the fro was so big to where he looked like he was 6'8", even though he was only 6'6".
And he took advantage of his maneuverability and his mystique.
And his hops, he could gambit on anybody, and
his creativity.
Yes,
so
all day.
all these things that were not seen before.
The true introduction of like what they called undisciplined basketball back in the 70s, but that freestyle, that what they want to call that that N1 mixtape kind of basketball. But the doctor definitely led to the birth of what we know the small forward to be back then and now, because again, he started it ABA type shit, but in the 80s you had clearly you had Bird, you had Dominique. You know what I'm saying? Magic wasn't a small forward, but he was clearly a new wave of a bigger, more athletic player that they didn't know, because again, you remember Last Dance, they was fronting on Jordan being like, he can't lead a team, he can't carry a team, he's only a 2 guard. I mean, even Clyde said that, son. I'm like, come on, Clyde, bro. You was a point guard that got busy, bro.
But perception is a funny thing, right? The 2 guard was perceived in such a way that they thought it couldn't have an impact. Even though
stupid, bro.
I agree with you, because I always bring up Gail Goodrich, right? Like there were guards that had that level of impact, 2 guards specifically that had that level of impact.
Yeah.
Or when a lot of teams doing the double guard back in the day,
Earl of Pearl, man, and that's why I got mad at Clyde for saying that. I'm like, bro,
or Clyde himself, like you said, like
2 alone,
the
bro.
numbers that they put up were really like.
And even Big O, bro, because Big O was only 6'5". I don't want to say only 6'5", but
yeah, he was a short forward.
You know what I'm saying?
He just muscled them.
But he was one of the original dudes to play everything from like the 1 to the 3.
Could you imagine how much that fucked up matchups like back then?
Back then, oh my God, no.
So to go back to modern basketball, because niggas is old. To go back to the Westbrook trade, I want to criticize it some more because
that's a beautiful connection, because the Big O was the originator of the triple double, and Sexbrook is the
that bully basketball. Like that kind of like aggressive, like I have to pressure you type of basketball. Which again, I appreciate it for the Lakers. Like I think it's a good.
For anybody that doesn't know anything about Oscar Robertson, he's basically a combination of Chris Paul and Westbrook. He had the mind of Chris Paul, and truthfully a bigger body than Westbrook. Not the athletic body, but again, like he was putting up triple doubles in a time when, again, anybody that was like 6'5" or shorter, they weren't doing that, because the bigger dudes were trying to, like you said, your Gail Goodriches, your again, the Jerry West, who was a little bit tall, but Nobody was really doing that in that fashion.
Exactly. So I guess I'll side with the, I wish Scrams was here because, I would love to hear his. I mean, I did kind of hear his take on it.
Oh no. He
in
will
the group
be,
chat, but
the lasso will come out.
He
will
needs
be
to-
hog-tied, duct taped, and thrown in the van, and
will
be whenever he touched down.
We also got to slap a DJ Manga jersey or a Devin George jersey on him and bring him here.
No.
That's when we take the hood off, and then he realizes what we've done.
No, boy, there won't ever be anything placed on him, anything but a Smush Parker jersey.
Oh yeah, no. Fuck.
I won't put a Kwame Brown on him, but
Nah, even though he does the good Kwame Brown, but
Kwame.
There's always the other player he mentions besides Smush Parker and Kwame. I can't think of
Sasha.
him right now. Nah, not even. He doesn't mention Sasha.
No, he does. He meant. Was that you that mentioned Sasha?
I mentioned Sasha.
Okay, that's you.
A lot. Damn, niggas is really old. But
that wasn't that long ago, but yeah, we are.
To the Utes, that shit is ancient history, bro.
Nah, not really.
If you ask one of these little niggas, except the nerds, who Sasha Vujacic is, you think they're gonna know something?
If you do the beef video between, which is funny to hear me say, but if you do the beef video between Darren Williams and Jeremy Lin, Sasha's gonna be in that shit, son. He was there, son, on the nets.
He witnessed it all.
As a matter of fact, I only say that because whenever I would use the nets in whatever 2K that was, 20 maybe. It probably would have had to been 2012 because yeah.
Nah, it would have to be. I guess so.
No, because he popped in 2012. So
but he was on. But he wasn't like Linsanity Jalen. He was even though it was living roster, so he was good.
Yeah, I know that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about me using the nets when D Will was there, son.
Oh,
after
yeah.
and this may have been
with injuries turned off. Hey.
I mean, I don't. Yeah. I don't know if some franchises I may do without that, but
he dropped like 50 on this nigga, right?
The first game, and then D Will came back with that 5-5.
That's what D Will dropped the double nickel, and Jalen dropped like 38 or something.
Nah, he cooked him. He cooked him. And then D Will got tired of motherfuckers be like, yo, Jalen cooked you. And
also, you're washed. That's what I heard. They heard you're washed.
Actually, I think D Will is the reason why Linsanity died, son.
Kinda.
Because I think that was that last game. Because that was like, what, 2 weeks? It was a nice 2 weeks in February.
Yeah, after he cooked the Cobism, R.I.P.
I mean, he twerked the Lakers, but, that was a nice Friday night, too.
That was so good. Like, I know we talking a lot of old basketball right now, but I loved that Kobe was like, I don't know who he is. Like, I've heard of what he's been doing, but I don't know who he is. And then he got cooked that same night. So.
We talk old basketball to bring it back to the present. You know what I'm saying?
So, Sexbrook, I mean, he's not the only major deal.
No. Like I said, it's Sexbrook, but
he is impactful. Like, that will be a big boon to them, especially playmaking-wise because of what he does on that end.
Like I said, just in regards to he can.
It just depends on who they fill the team out with. You know what I mean? Saying I understand they had to get rid of KCP. Yeah, they were definitely going to get rid of Kuzma.
LeBron can finally.
Caruso is still a question mark.
LeBron could just finally become like old fat John Elway, which is what he always wanted to become.
I'm kind of okay with that because his game has transitioned to this kind of gunslinging. I'm gonna take way more threes. Like, I don't want to really drive unless I really have to.
No, he's becoming your man Kenny Smith, son.
Also, I'm glad I remember this. They could be a really powerful, kind of how the Nuggets do, and other big teams like that, where they do the double screen and roll, depending on. Yeah. I mean, you could do it any three of them, Westbrook can't set screen, but like.
I mean, he could if he,
If he really had to. But the point is, they could really be.
If he was under the right coaching, he would already be doing. He would have been doing that for KD a long time ago. But.
So, delusional Lakers fans, I will give you that this is an impactful. You're gonna get the title type of move.
Yeah.
If this man comes off whatever screens, flare screens, pin down, whatever the fuck, as soon as he's open, he's shooting that. Like, if he shoots it, like, and
yeah, more
makes
than
it,
likely, more than likely.
you know, like, that would be so deadly if he went back to, what year was that? When he niggas really on the Thunder making crazy mid-range shots, like 2016, 2015, something like that.
Well, yeah, 2016. Well, that's when they lost to the Warriors. But
yeah, that was when he was wilding. Like,
Yeah,
that was the Westbrook I expected
Yeah.
to continue. And I feel like, this is not original analysis or anything like that, but I feel like in chasing the triple-double in the ways that he has, it atrophied his game. Like, he was really...
atrophied his game and his teams.
And he's really steadily becoming... I mean, but he was already, you know, this narrative of Diva Westbrook shooting his teams out of series was already present.
Shooting and out-rebounding his teams.
Yeah, stealing rebounds from your own teammates, all types of stuff. But, like, that was, like, the pinnacle of that, because that was, like, oh, man, this nigga's reaching his prime. And, like, if these two dudes stay together, they'll be unstoppable. Unstoppable. They would have been unstoppable. They're already on their way to being unstoppable. They didn't have James Harden at the time, but it goes to show how talented these two guys were together.
That was the first mistake.
You know, yeah, well... we don't have time for that right now, but
stay tuned. OKC the hard way.
So it's astonishing to me that other teams, I guess, didn't fight as hard for Westbrook. Maybe because they didn't want to pay that $30 million. The Lakers had the money, I suppose, and how they've offset, you know, the players they got rid of for Westbrook.
I'll be honest with you. I'm still surprised that Washington didn't at least give it one more year, then try to trade him, bro. Because
same here. Given we talked about this off air. Given that I don't want to say he single-handedly, because Bradley Beal definitely balled out. In addition to Rui Hachimura and what's man's name, son? That everybody wants, but they won't trade very smartly. The shooter, son. I'm blanking on some name right now. I want to say it's not Furkan Korkmaz, but it's like that. It's not him because he's a 76er. But, oh, my God, I'm blanking on him right now. But the point is that they have a nice core of options in addition to the strong players they had behind him. Also should have kept Bobby Portis, but whatever. That's a whole nother thing. Bobby's an NBA champion, so fuck Washington.
That's Milwaukee.
But I know, and so that's a kind of a smooth transition. Do you think the Wizards won out in all the pieces they just got just now? Like, because they got a fairly good trade off that, honestly, for Russell. Considering what they could have gotten instead, I thought the meme that was going around was KCP and Kyle Kuzma and like a first rounder. Was the deal that LA was offering everyone for anything. So, like...
yeah, nobody was taking that.
They came up pretty good, I would say. I was expecting more something like Kuzma and THT and, like, a pick. Like, they would have, like, kept KCP. But I guess that's what, you know, smartly, Washington asked for KCP. That was a nice pickup for them.
I was
assuming they don't trade any of those guys right off rip, because apparently and this is rumor, you know how Twitter is and whatever, like, but apparently they're gonna be looking to deal Kuzma at first opportunity. I don't know to who, but there you go.
Right now, I mean, on paper they have a little squad, you know,
of young dudes, like young dudes who could shoot.
Young dudes who, you know,
not counting KCP. I mean, KCP's not old, but
I mean he's seasoned.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like they have a team of young dudes who should be hungry, and if they're not, they damn sure should. You know, somebody gotta get that hunger out of them. But you have a team. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Atlanta surprised a lot of people, you know, this past season. I wouldn't be surprised if the Wizards do that this season, because they have the same makeup as the Hawks, but I'm not even gonna lie to you, they're way bigger than the Hawks, so they can do some different things. Right now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Right now, for what it's worth, I'll say it's an even trade right now, just because Westbrook is gonna be Westbrook, and the pieces that the Wizards got, I mean, me personally, I would keep Kyle Kuzma at least for one season and see what's up. But I wouldn't blame him. You don't know where his mind is right now, and he is young, so he's figuring out his place. You know what I'm saying? Both probably in life and in the league. So LeBron that's the shit. So playing with LeBron, you're not gonna get that, man. As a young player, and I'm not gonna lie, that's one of my knocks on LeBron, bro. If you're really this leader and you're really this ill,
yeah. Why have so many young boys failed?
Yeah.
Under your wing, yeah. Why are you so hard on them? And I guess the easy answer is because he's a prodigy, right? He's been on it since he was 16.
And he's trying to win now. I get that, but
I get that he's chasing the shadow of Jordan. The door is closing.
But you can do that with some rookies, though, man.
But also, he had Brandon Ingram on his team and like talented. How does Matthew Dellavedova get more patience than Lonzo Ball? You know what I'm saying? His crazy ass dad aside, like that doesn't seem right to me. Like, how do the Lakers not keep Julius Randle, who we've talked about many times, a 20-9 scorer, and he wasn't even like good, and he just let that walk? Same thing with Brook Lopez. Shout out to Brook Lopez. He's a champion now. Thank God.
Yes.
Thank you. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but man, Brook Lopez as an NBA champion that's nice. Like, couldn't happen to a nicer fucking comic book mark. Quick aside, I remember meeting him when I worked at a reputable comic book store. I don't want to say where in case I get doxxed or whatever, but
small flex.
But I met him. He was really nice. He was there with his older brother, not Robin. I forget who their older brother, what his older brother name is.
I never knew they had an older brother.
Yeah, it's 3 of them huge ass niggas, bro. Like, how crazy is that? Like, they were so huge you could see them from anywhere in the store. And the comic books look so small in this nigga Brook Lopez hands. Like, it was
Meanwhile,
wild.
he's asking you some of the illest nerd mark shit ever.
The nicest, like, he was the nicest guy. Like, I never felt so short ever in my life. Like,
one of the few dudes you had to look up to.
Like hard. Like, yo,
shit.
Like, this nigga's huge. Like, now I know how people feel like when they gotta look up at me.
Yes.
But yeah, shout out to Brook Lopez. But what other deals should we talk about? Because I feel like the Russ deal is pretty academic. I feel like the Wizards are probably going to, if they're smart, mold all those guys they got into a decent team. Maybe try to really coerce Bradley Beal into feeling like he could lead them on something,
No, that's clearly what they're trying to do, because if they weren't, they would have traded him to the Warriors 2 weeks ago.
But also that offer was kind of lame.
No, I mean, clearly, that was a nice transition, but one of the main things to talk about right now is Lonzo to the Bulls, mostly because of something else we were talking about off air, and that is being that they scooped up Lonzo for his nice hefty contract, and they made other moves. What are they gonna do with brother Levine?
So, not to cut you off real quick, but breaking news as of midnight, a little after midnight. Exactly. The I think there's a Woj bomb. Is this a Woj bomb? Yeah. So I hate saying that. It shit sounds so tacky. Woj bomb. I mean, he is who he is. So
they
it's
are
fine.
Bombs though.
Anyway, via Wojnarowski, Adrian Wojnarowski, Spencer Dinwiddie, who I mentioned earlier off air, right?
Yeah.
Is apparently going to the Wizards. So this shit is very timely. If that man can stay healthy, him and Bradley Beal are formidable. That's a formidable backcourt. That means all those guys they just got are now in a position to really kind of be effective because they're all shooters.
They are. I don't know, man. It's starting to get to the point where it's a little too much.
I don't think so.
We'll see. Spencer is
the minutes are there for everybody, pretty much at every position.
Yeah, certain things may be thrown off. Again, we'll see. Like Montrez, he's not a pure center. But we'll see.
Yeah, but they and I don't want to feel like I'm bagging on Kyle Kuzma, but like the other guys they got like give them that edge that they kind of needed very much.
That's what I'm saying though. So like, is Kyle going to start at the 3 or the 4? Because you got Rudy already. You know what I'm saying? And Rudy plays. He can play the 4 or the 5 for them, especially on the East. So shit is, like I said, like the Spencer acquisition is nice because he is a point guard, so he may be able to get everybody in position. I don't know if Montrez is willing to go back to that 6-man role, then oh no, it's over. It's over. Then they got problems. Like the East has problems then.
Yeah. So I kind of like this. Washington actually trying to make moves, not blow it up.
No, they're trying to keep brother Bill
and keep Bradley. So positive moves. They probably have a move or two more to make if they're going to keep him, depending on how he feels. Yeah. Seems to like to play there. So
yeah, he hasn't tried to force he hasn't even been anywhere near.
He hasn't said or demanded or he just kept his head down and played and is playing still in the Olympics right now, right? So.
Well, you know, there's quite a few individuals in his ear, especially brother Draymond
and Kevin Durant, son.
KD could be in his ear, but it is not a damn thing the Nets could do, son. I don't.
Nah, there's no way they would
trade Kyrie, but I mean.
Oh my God, the controversy, the despair of it all,
which they should do, but whatever.
Would you do that? You make that move, if it were possible?
In a heartbeat.
Straight up?
In a heartbeat. Being that, like the beard has already shown you that he's willing and able to be your point guard. Come on, son. Come on.
That'd be crazy. Switch the beard back to the 1, Beal at the 2, Kevin Durant at the 3.
Then they're not losing.
That's disgusting.
They're not losing to anybody.
Nah, they still gotta shore that D and their depth up. That's their weakness. Like the postseason showed that.
I hear you, but KD is already
firepower is not their problem.
KD is already trying to become the defensive anchor, son.
Which is fine. I've been saying that forever that he should be. He should be.
Bradley,
he should be utilizing all the gifts that his fucking alien body and skill set grant him.
Bradley can play some D. It's just he has to be the number 1, 2, and 3.
I'm not worried about them first 7 niggas. I'm worried about the rest, the other 5. Like. They don't.
That's fine, but look,
they're mad anemic. Like, you know what I'm saying? The postseason showed that when your main guns are injured and your main gun, though injured, is like pulling off these performances. Like, that's not a way to win a championship at all.
I hear you, but
I'm not trying to hear then that the Nets are the best team in the league when that's what they showed me.
How many teams go 10 deep in the playoffs?
More now. Given the nature of not only injury, but
and how many of them have won championships, realistically?
The Warriors?
Maybe.
In recent history. I'm going in recent history.
I'm not even talking about recent history.
The Warriors, even those Braun Cav teams, as much as we were slamming them just now.
This is the Warriors and the Spurs, if you want to go like that far back to 2014, but both of them teams have the same structure. Most teams go at least 7 to 8 deep, so.
That philosophy doesn't work anymore. You're seeing that.
But they're still winning championships based upon that.
The team that just won the chip went deep into their
No, they did
reserves.
not, brother. They only went 8 deep.
Besides the dudes who were injured,
deep,
they would have went deeper than that if they had them available. You know that.
And how many teams really have that many dudes available?
I'm not saying every team can do it, but the ones that can
just
won't for some reason.
That's why you don't see that. I hear you.
The only reason the Nuggets even contended in the postseason is because they went deep into their roster. Which
doesn't make any fucking sense in the world because they should be the main team that's stomping you with everybody they put on the floor, 10, maybe even 11 deep.
Yeah, but I feel like their issue, even though I'm always cheerleading the Nuggets here on the show, is that they don't believe in their roster. At least not those guys. That's why I bring up the second half of the roster. Niggas could talk about starting 5s all day. That's why delusional Laker fans are losing their shit right now. But what is the rest of that Laker team gonna do? It doesn't solve. They haven't solved their problem in any way, which is depth and defense and fucking niggas who aren't in their 30s. You know what I'm saying?
They're in a way better position than they were
absolutely
6 hours ago.
And they will be probably even in the next 24. I'm sure they're gonna pick up at least a guy or two. I understand all that.
They're showing you this shouldn't be the main skeleton or blueprint, but they are showing you that sometimes If you build it, they will come.
Sure, but my ultimate point is that you need that strategy.
You
like
need
to
a team.
really.
First, you need a team. Like in basketball,
It doesn't matter if you have the best 7, because if one of those break down, then you have to worry about 8 through 10, right? So that's my issue.
Basketball is a delicate fucking situation.
The fact that these dudes didn't keep, for example, Craig, the Nuggets, since we're on him right now, is shocking to me. Like, he's the perfect kind of postseason player, and then they go to the postseason, and they needed a guy like him, and he instead wasted the season in Detroit. And I'm glad that he got the bag, but like, damn, like that shit is tragic.
No, he was on the Suns and he went to the Pacers. But either way,
am I thinking of another Craig? Maybe?
Torrey Craig.
Yeah, probably. I'm thinking of Torrey Craig.
Yeah. But,
my point remains the same. Like you took out a player who had chemistry in your scheme, and because of, and I get money is a fickle thing, and I understand that budgets are what they are.
Yeah.
But if you are winning, why would you take out a key element in something that made your team successful on purpose, unless you're replacing with something else that can do that and more? And they didn't do that. Even though they got Aaron Gordon and MPJ continue to progress this season,
listen,
in the postseason they look helpless out there. Even though they were playing great basketball, they still looked helpless out there.
Just because of the example you just brought up, clearly Torrey Craig ain't the nigga that everybody wants on their team, son. Because if he was on the Suns and he left, clearly if the Suns didn't want to keep him around and the Nuggets, that is more telling about him than them.
But it's also possible he couldn't get rotational minutes because the Suns play small, and the guards take a lot of the minutes up.
That's not true. If they want to play small, he can play the 3 or the 4 for them.
I agree, because they didn't have Jay Crowder, and then they got him.
All I'm saying is two contending teams chose not to keep him, bro.
That's true.
So
there must be something to it. I just bring him up as an example because he's one of those skill set players. You know what I'm saying? Those glue guys that we're always talking about.
But
it's always weird to me.
Sometimes it's not about the talent.
Or it's about the chemistry and about the fit. Like, we're not there. I don't know what's going on. Like, for all I know, Torrey Craig is. I'm not gonna. He's not a white supremacist. But let's say he was. I'm trying to think of an extreme example. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say he was. I don't know, fucking.
Or he may just be looking for the bag. Whatever, bro.
Which he seemed to indicate, which is fine. Like, get your money. You only have X amount of years to do so. But I always emphasize, if you win the championship, you're gonna get the bag.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Now again, I don't know if the Suns gave him an offer. Now, if they didn't, then they're the iffy ones. But
it doesn't seem to be, because again, they had Jay Crowder and who else? They had dudes that they picked up. In lieu of him.
Yeah, and
it worked out. Jay Crowder played incredibly in the postseason. Like, it was fine.
They're gonna keep him, and they should keep him.
And they should.
But if you choose to leave, right now, if you choose to leave the Suns, you may be a little iffy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, right now, you may
unless, as you said, you're chasing the bag, because they gotta.
But again, he didn't even get the bag, bro. I think he only got like $10 million from the Pacers, son.
They also are not. They don't have to pay dudes yet. They only have to really worry about paying Chris Paul, who took the pay cut to stay.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, but if you're gonna take $10 million, you can still. You should at least be on a damn contender, son. Like, honestly.
I'm with you. I get it. And hey, given how the chemistry of their team worked, that they prove your point. They only went 9 deep, maybe.
Yeah.
And they kind of had to go into Frank Kaminsky because Cyrus got hurt.
Yeah.
So.
And again, that's another team that does go fairly deep, deeper than most.
And that's what. But Monty, that was always his philosophy. Even in New Orleans, like, he's trying to squeeze every player he had, because you never know who's gonna give you what.
He's used to having young teams.
When you believe in them, you're like, So that's my point ultimately. Like, the Heat kind of represent this in a way, even though they were kind of limited in what they could do 2 years ago. They played together. Like, they rung their roster for every guy they had available, like, that they could.
No, honestly, just
so I'm surprised that if you're contending for a title, especially in a high pressure situation like the first finals back with fans and traveling and all that. Why wouldn't you take advantage of all the variables you have available to you? And I get it.
No, bro.
Some dudes are hurt. Some dudes aren't.
I'm about to finesse it for you right now.
Some dudes are out of shape. You know what I mean? Saying there's a lot of variables that I'm not.
I'm about to Stephen A. for you right now. I'm about to Stephen A. for you right now.
Just don't scream. Don't be wilding out here.
I mean, my wilding days were far, far behind me, son. Or are behind me, not were.
And then he proceeded to scream for like 10 minutes.
Nigga. Oh, no. I'm like, what you're talking about and what I'm talking about is basically what the playoffs are really about. You know what I'm saying? Key situations, key matchups, key lineups. Now, going 10 deep, I mean, look, if I'm a coach, I'm probably only going about 8 or 9 deep. But
Fuck, look at the Hawks. Sorry, I'm gonna let you talk. Like, that just came to me real quick. Go ahead.
no, but see again, that's another situation where we're talking about Nate McMillan, who played for a coach who was and had a philosophy of going deep, that being George Karl back on the Sonics. You know what I'm saying? But they went deep defensively. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm all the way for that. Like, whatever your team is and whatever your identity is, do the damn thing, baby. You know what I'm saying? Again, the Spurs, the last championship they won was because of depth. And they probably were, all right, yeah, like you said, the Warriors.
And they were out for revenge.
I mean, we could talk about that. But it's not about going 10 deep in the playoffs. It's about utilizing, like, you could tighten your rotation up. It's not about using the same players in every game. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm gonna use him in this one. Boom. All right. He plays better on the road as opposed to home for whatever reason. He plays better at home, so boom. My 8 ain't gonna be the same 8 throughout the whole fucking series. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play around with it a little bit.
No, that's true. You said as much about Bobby Portis in the championship episode where we talked about the Bucks. Go watch
Against
that.
Against the Nets, yeah.
You know, go watch that. By the way, Bobby wasn't playing so great. You know, in and out of in the early rounds, and then they realized, well, we have a matchup problem and an energy guy, and we're dealing with a Phoenix Suns team that, even though they kind of, I don't want to say they walked to the finals, but like, they imposed their will, like, on the teams they saw on the way to the finals, which made things easier for them.
They put their foot on the necks of the Lakers, which is what they're supposed to do.
The key stat: they had only lost 2 games up until the finals. Like, that shit is wild.
Now, they were smoking. Again, like
in the Western Conference, like, that's amazing.
No, but we were just talking about the Nuggets, but the Nuggets should have gave them at least 6 games.
Yeah, but they tore the soul out of them. You know, like, you could see, like I said earlier in maybe 10 minutes ago or whatever it was, when I was singing the Nuggets praises, they came to play. Like, despite the fact that they didn't have Jamal Murray, it was the same thing. Well, a similar thing to the bubble season, in that they were missing key guards.
Yeah,
and they just showed up with whoever they had, and they imposed their will on the Blazers. Like, and so they got will imposed on them by the Suns this time.
Even without Jamal Murray, they still have a top 5 talented team with the defending MVP.
Yeah, who, you know, honestly played.
He showed up. No, he showed up.
He played. The only honestly part about
him and Aaron Gordon,
they played incredibly. They wanted it, which is great. Even MPJ, even though he played kind of lousy, he wanted it. Like, that's what you want out of your stars.
And those of them, those 2 pickups that they made. They definitely are nice with the Greenses, Daddy Green's Pizza. You know what I'm saying? That being one Hefe, a.k.a. Jeff Green, the classic. I don't know why he left the Nets. I thought he was going to try to get that OKC thing going without Westbrook. But him and the other Green, that being Jamichael or Hamichael, if you want a soft J.
Money, I guess.
No. I mean, listen,
I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is, but because I would rather stay on the Nets, where you clearly have a good role there. You know. Even
him, I think he only got about 10 mil. He only that's 5. Yeah, 10 mil for 2 years.
Yeah, they just scooped him because he was available, and that's his man's in them.
That, and they didn't want to re-up on him and Blake for whatever reason.
But they only gave Blake a year.
I would have gave Hefe a year.
Me too. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre.
All right, well,
who else are they paying? Spencer is now out to the Wizards as of recording. So
everybody that made
who else are they paying?
Everybody that made the Nets mad, like interesting, 2 years ago
is gone. Now officially, if and when this Wizards deal goes through, they're gone.
Whoever was on that AFC Nets team that pushed, was it Toronto or was it the Sixers? I forgot.
I forget who, but
in 2019
with Rondé Hollis Jefferson and
Rondé, Spencer, your man Karis
LeVert, who apparently.
Oh no, I'm bugging. Joey is still around.
Yeah,
he's the only one. Jared Allen, they had a squad.
Yep, that they. Yet another team massacred for a super team that, again, proved that. And I guess this is my ultimate point. It's not even the 10 deep thing, even though that sticks with me because you want to use every available guy. They're always talking about how you got to. If you can, like, but you got to stay ready. You got to stay ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not expecting Frank Kaminsky to give me 20 points. But if he gave me anything at all, great.
No, and again, that's why, like, you know what I'm saying, like, the best coaches are ones that understand pace, first of all, they understand the tone of their team because they establish the foundation of what that tone is, you know what I'm saying? We're going to punch them in the dick, we're going to elbow them, and we're going to dunk on them. We're going to rebound them, and we're going to dunk on them again. Or, shit, for the longest time on the West Coast, we just going to shoot the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But,
yeah, or run them out the gym, like whatever it was.
Yeah, so you know what it is. Once you set up that foundation, much like, I'm not even going to lie to you, the Bulls seem like they're trying to do that. The Pelicans seem like they're going to do that. I mean, that big three is nice. Dallas is trying to do that. I don't think they did the sign and trade for brother Kyle Lowry because originally it was supposed to be a sign and trade for brother Dragic, and then a lot of people said more than likely Toronto was going to release Dragic and he was going to end up in Dallas. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't want that. I wouldn't mind Dragic on the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sound like Stephen A, but my Knicks fandom will come out. It's hot out here, goddammit. But
that's an excellent segue into Evan Fournier, son, newest Knick.
Fournier. But before we get to that,
4 years, 78 milli.
Real quick, Goran
definitely gave him the bag.
Goran and Luka will be a beautiful combination, though. But Fournier.
That would be nice. Luka had the ball in his hand less. He could be more of an off-ball threat.
Two Slovenians.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how cool would that be?
No KP.
Nah. It's a wrap for KP. So I don't want to say he's washed. He's another one. Injury.
He
is just so bad with him. It clearly affects his mental. Because when he feels good or he's mad or anything like that, he balls out. Like, he's got it.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. He hasn't put up the same numbers since he left the Knicks, but he has.
That's what I'm saying. The only reason I even brought that up is because that's when you notice it, is when he's upset or feeling good that day, or Luka's setting him up in such a way that he's hot from three.
Well, keep it 100.
He's way more in the paint these days, which is cool.
The times when Luka ain't even there. The times when Luka ain't even there. That's when he'll put up like a 30 and 15.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Or him and Maxi Kleber on the floor. Shout out to Maxi Kleber, good player.
Yes.
They do good things together. You know what I'm saying? Like that triangle, that weird triangle of THJ and those two guys, like, is effective in bursts.
No, they really should be one.
Like the Mavericks are a frustrating team because they are good.
No, they should have one of the top 5 duos in the league,
and they just can't. Because
really, they should have a top 5, like, big 3, but, you know.
They don't have it because they're too iffy. They're too up and down. Also, they don't have, like, the roster plays D. They play together. Like, it's just, they don't, it wasn't like Mavericks of old, you know what I'm saying? Which used to score like 120, whatever.
No, they have to, and they read up on, I would love for the Knicks to have gone after him too, but they read up on the brother man Boban. So.
Great player. I
need Boban in New York. So.
Another giant.
I need Boban in the Garden.
Another giant who's so good.
Stop playing these games, Boban. You know you want to be in like John Wick 5. Come to the
Also,
Garden.
they love that dude, man. Like, people fuck with him.
Everybody loves him, bro. Everywhere he goes.
Apparently, he's the nicest guy in the world. Which is great. I I would love to have a player like that on the team.
He's becoming the new Vladi.
Nah, because everyone hated Vladi because he was beating niggas up.
People hated Vladi, but off the court, like, they loved him, but, it's just the way he played. But nobody really, outside of, like, him flopping, nobody had a bad word to say about Vladi, son.
Except for those niggas that got elbowed in the fucking mouth.
Well, once again, Vladi got drafted in 9? So he came in the league when motherfuckers were still, catching spine busters and rock bottoms.
And literally getting punched in the dick out the sky.
By, honestly, by D. Rodman before he, became D. Rodman. He was just Dennis Rodman then. And shout out to all the old school goons, you know what I'm saying?
Are there any sneaky picks? Because I feel like we should start to wind down because we just made it about free agency. We had other things to talk about, but we'll get to those. I'm really liking these kind of pardon the interruption-esque, shorts, I guess, comparative to our other videos.
An hour and just a little bit of change is good enough for free agency.
It's nice, because it's still developing. Stuff just started.
We'll touch other things, like the.
By the time we get to it next week, like it'll be something like Bradley Beal like traded to Sacramento or some dumb shit. And we'll be like, can you believe these motherfuckers? Like,
or even possibly the Knicks, but we definitely need Brother Scrams here for his Russell Westbrook take.
His scintillating Laker Nation analysis that we love him and value him for.
You know what I'm saying?
Even though we have to kidnap him every time to get him on the show.
You know what I'm saying? We'll catch him as he's coming out the chicken spot. Son.
That's the best time.
All day.
So I guess I'm gonna wrap it up with out of all the deals that we kind of perused, what do you think is gonna fly? Which one do you think is gonna fly under the radar? You mentioned Lonzo briefly, and then I kind of went on a Nuggets tirade. So if you want to talk about that right now, real quick.
Still Lonzo and still the Kalo, because there's a little bit more to that. But
even with the injuries, like.
I mean, we'll see, because again, with
what
that
makes him different than Goran? Honestly, I mean, they have different skill sets, but like, what makes him?
Again, this is all right. Fuck it, I'll go to that, and I'll get to the Bulls. If they can somehow get DeMar DeRozan for the low, then that Kalo pickup is a problem. If not, then
because you guys best friend. You know what I mean?
Best
on the
friend,
team,
then you also have somebody that can take the load off of everybody in regards to scoring and facilitating, and
especially Jimmy. Jimmy can then become the dog that he likes
Jimmy
to be.
Jimmy could just be I'm like Jimmy could be the number one option, but you can't have him be the number one option.
But he can't have the highest usage rate on the team. Like,
if he's the number one option, he can't be the one that's like guarding the number
I
one threat
understand that
and facilitating.
Yeah, he'll play till he dies, which is great. But at the same time, that's not.
He can't do everything.
That's
for
not
you.
Sustainable.
He can't.
Like you said,
you don't want him to do everything for you. You know what I'm saying? So him and DeMar could play off of each other a little bit better. Again, I would love. I mean, out of everybody I'm talking about today, I would really love DeMar to be on the Knicks, man. I really would. Just because he went through that Popovich seasoning. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I really like that Heat deal because the Heat definitely become.
Nobody asked you.
Damn, nigga.
But no. You got the best friends.
Hurt my feelings and shit.
You got the best friends, and that's the only reason I'm gonna keep bringing that up. And Pat Riley is who do you call him? No, you call Pop Bison. Who's Akuma? It may have been George Karl while he was still coaching.
Nah, because if any, it has to be a coach that succeeded. So maybe Doc, but
no.
It has to be a coach that won for him to be.
At most, Doc is maybe Sagat, but
probably. No, it has to be someone who won and like did it at all costs.
No, that's what I said. Like Pop is.
So you want to make Pop Akuma instead, because he was kind of like that. Like it was his way or no way, basically. And Bison could be Pat Riley.
I don't know. Pat Riley was smooth though.
I think the hat looks better on him too. The Bison hat.
He has more chips than Pop though.
He does.
Technically, he has 6 chips coaching, 5 with the Lakers, and that one when he got rid of the other. the other Van Gundy.
The lesser Van
No,
Gundy.
he literally came down from the office and won a championship. Now, again, that was with Shaq and D Wade, but
Super Saiyan 2 D Wade's.
no, that was before Super Saiyan. That was no. He was about to be Super Saiyan 2 D Wade, but
Nah, it was like Gohan. Like he activated it. That was his Cell games. that 2006 finals was
nah,
definitely.
like that's what I'm saying. Like when they would transform,
Shaq was on his shoulder, like Goku dead. Like you can do it. You can
it wasn't
do it,
the
Dwayne.
pure.
You can do it,
the
Dwayne.
Pure second form, but like when they got mad big and brolic,
Yeah, it was.
it was like that.
Nah,
But,
it doesn't make sense because Trunk still lost when he got big and broad.
Well, Trunks.
Super Saiyan 2 Gohan won the Cell games.
That's why I say the pure two. But
That is the purest too, because remember Gohan retired after that
yeah.
and became Saiyaman.
Well, we won't get too much into that DBZ lore, but
This is your fault. This is all your fault.
well, I am trying to get that Shinron tattoo, but that's neither here nor there.
So Lonzo trade, and Bulls in general, like they seem to have kind of like smoothed things out. They resigned Thaddeus.
We'll see.
They resigned a couple other guys.
We'll see again. Them.
Jim Boylan ain't the coach anymore. Thank God. So
We'll see again. Them throwing the bag at Lonzo, and based upon the other maneuverers they made. Again, like I said, the storyline with that, regardless of who the fuck they signed, was always going to be, what are they going to do with brother Zach LaVine?
or will he stay? You know, like will he
Well,
even
listen,
stay?
brother, you know what I'm saying? The Garden will love to have you, Zach. We love to have you, brother.
He seems to like to play for the Bulls. He seems happier
No,
than he ever was on the Timberwolves.
He has said, again, we talked about this off air, but again, he wants an all-star caliber number in regards to his contract, but he also has been quoted as saying that he will work with them in regards to getting other guys.
That's a smart dude. Like think about how young he is. He could easily be like, just pay me, and they would have paid him.
That and
Like,
as much as as much as I bang with brother Vucevic, Zach LaVine is their best player, man.
yeah, far and away. If Vucevic is smart, this is where he uses this season to really get right and show the league like what he's capable of around a young core. Because as far as I can think of, aside from him and Thad Young, they're the most seasoned players on the team. Everybody else is young,
That's
right?
a nice one too. I mean, Vucevic should finally become a top 5 big man.
He already is, just in consistency in terms of like
All
pure.
right, wait. Is that a prediction for the season?
Oh, you want me to do a? Well, I can't do light skin prediction. A hot chocolate prediction.
Well, you're not hot chocolate.
Hot
You're
chocolate
in the middle.
prophecy.
A hot caramel.
Caramel prophecy.
Sexy caramel. You know what I'm saying?
The word, the sexy caramel prophecy. I'm doing it. The sexy caramel prophecy is that Nikola Vucevic, my guy, who's been my guy forever.
Top 5 big man. Center.
Stat-wise, at least. Yeah.
Nah, just period. All around.
That's kind of hard to say. Yeah, fuck it, yeah. I'll stick with fuck it, yeah. I'll stick with it.
This is a coming out party.
Yeah. If he wants it, if he really wants it, if he really realizes after bitching on the Magic, because he did.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let him off the hook for this. He bitched on the Magic about how they didn't value him.
But
didn't
then re-up with
appreciate
him.
him.
But then
re-up
re-up.
for the $100 million. And hey, it's $100 million. Like,
But you could have left.
a player like him, like
He could have came to the Knicks.
he could have got $100 million elsewhere. But,
On the Knicks.
But he stayed out of loyalty or whatever the hell it was. Good for him, I guess.
I think it's that Disney World, that fucking that
Something
mouse
about
poison.
that. It's something about that water, bro. That Orlando water.
It's
Man.
like and Dwight. Well, first of all, Dwight is the one that really should have stayed, but whatever. But you know what, sir? I'm right there with you, sir. I have to put the light skin prophecy on that, sir.
He's good, man. He's been consistently good, getting consistently
He
better.
He's only a 2-time All-Star.
Yeah, and recently at that.
Should be at least a 5-time.
It's criminal how Vucevic has been disrespected, but I get it. He's getting busy in a time where the big man is not valued anymore for what they are.
Even though he's a big man that can
play the modern
20-20, step out, hit 3,
hit the modern NBA game. He can pass. He can do a lot of things. So especially since Lauri Markkanen, unless they're going to really give him the chance, I believe he is a restricted free agent as of recording I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that, audience, but those two can make a nice 1-2 punch. Because presumably Vucevic will be starting at the 5, which is a no-brainer to me. So what would that lineup be? Lonzo, Zach. Who's at the 3?
Right now I'm not
Otto
sure.
Porter. Do they still have Otto Porter?
I believe so. Yes.
Otto Porter, Lauri Markkanen, and Vucevic. That's a nice starting 5. That's really nice. And then they got a bunch of backups, a really strong group of backups, including Thad Young, Kobe White, Thomas Satoransky, etc. You know
what? I would love that. I'm not, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I'm quite sure we've fronted on him on various occasions, probably on his podcast. I would trust that lineup with your man, son. Your man, Mike D'Antoni. With him, that lineup is dangerous. No defense, but they're not gonna play D anyway, son. So.
But they play more D now. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would rather their natural progression that they've shown than to deal with fucking Antonys.
I hear you, but I'm only saying that more because of Lauri, because he needs an offensive-minded coach, because he clearly isn't. He's not going to turn into what he should have turned into.
I agree. There's something. I don't know what, but there's something in his development that has not.
Maybe a confidence thing. I don't know, but
maybe they were looking at him to be the second option behind
which he should have been,
Zach. So,
but you know what?
That pressure might have fucked with him a little bit.
In his defense, looking at all of those Bulls teams that he got drafted to, and he got drafted in 2017? Yeah, 2017. To your point earlier, he hasn't really ever really played with like a real facilitating point guard.
Also, he's been hurt here and there. Not a lot, but here and there.
That's another thing, man. That's another thing, but we'll see.
But you're right. He has never, and again, this is while playing with Zach LaVine, who is pretty much built himself a nice game, all around point guard game.
Zach.
Considering that people thought, you're just this, and you're just this dunker, and you just do this, and you just do that.
Zach at his best, he may be the best lead guard in the league right now.
Man's averaging 28. Like, I would have never, even though I knew he could score, because again,
yeah,
the Wolves fucked up by getting rid of that man, supremely. But
they fucked up because they were training him to be a point guard, then got rid of him.
Stupid, and then didn't even fill the holes, and they're in fucking basketball purgatory right now.
I mean, your man D'Lo.
I guess, but I mean, they keep showing that they're not making any additional moves, to really, I feel bad for Gorgie Deng, you know what I'm saying?
Truly.
And niggas like that. There's good players on that team that are just kind of held hostage because the front office won't improve. They're stingy. We're a small market. We don't have the money, blah, blah, blah. But when you want to make the moves, you make them, because you made it for Jimmy Bouquet. You made it for all these people when they were free, and none of those panned out. Also, you keep drafting point guards like dickheads. But this is not about the Wolves. This is about the Bulls. And, I think they keep kind of, creeping up. Shout out to Rusty Buckets. I know that's your hometown team. They look all right. I'm sure you have a lot of, crazy things to say about them because you are the Bulls expert. But, I might even watch a Bulls game of 3. Just to see how it's going. Especially Lonzo. I like Lonzo Ball. I am shocked that the Hornets didn't really make a push at him.
Honestly,
to get the 2 balls on the fucking team.
All right, so now Lauri's there for one more year. Lonzo, honestly, if there's anybody's game that Lonzo will help, it should
them.
It should
it's
be Lauri.
Definitely
it should
them.
be Lauri Markkanen, bro. It should be, bro, because their pick and roll action, the Bulls pick and roll action period should be on, because now you got Lauri and Vucevic. They both could pick and pop, and then Lonzo could just be that pure point guard they need
who does a little bit of everything.
Exactly, and plays D. And then, like you said, now Kobe can become a 6 Man of the Year candidate.
Yeah, because he will be unleashed, or always playing with a guard who is a threat, and it will become a threat in his own right because of his penetration ability.
Yeah.
And as you said earlier, I don't remember if it's off air or on air, but you mentioned they will be. Even without Antony, thank God he's not there. But without Antonio, they will become a better shooting team as a result because they will feel more emboldened to shoot.
Listen,
because the lanes will be there. You have to deal with now a playmaker guard who penetrates as well and rebounds.
Yes.
So and is big. So now that's on the Eastern Conference. That's dangerous.
You're not gonna win a chip with Antony, but what I mean is I'm giving him a. And I don't want to say it because this man should have won the chip, but it's in that Mark Jackson mode of I'm letting him rock for 2, maybe 3 seasons because clearly
it's a long time in basketball years.
Yeah and no. But clearly the offensive explosion that this Bulls team has now, you need somebody to cultivate that. Now,
there are other offensive coaches who are well capable. Well, until recently, Nate McMillan. But all
right, he's not available.
Becky Hammond.
I mean, I would be totally for that, but I don't know if they would make that move.
I'm wondering who will be the first team to sign her. If she hasn't signed to anything already, I don't remember off the top of my head. Because I feel like there was also talks of her coaching a G League team. I may be super wrong about that. I know she was a coaching candidate, is the point, because she gets busy.
Yes.
I can't think of anyone else right now who is free, off the top of my head anyway.
Even like neither Becky nor Nate have honestly done it on the level of this man.
It would have been either Billy or fucking. That's the only one I can really think of right now.
Fair enough.
And whatever coaching candidates just still won't get hired. Like, one Mark Jackson. But he seems to have kind of given up on that dream. He is just kind of settled back into being commentator. So I don't think we'll ever see Mark on the sidelines again.
I love Mark, but that would have stifled the team offensively.
Also, he's blackballed. Like, that would have been a cloud over the team. Like,
you know what?
Even Stan Van Gundy could get jobs. Like,
he is blackballed, but honestly, if the right team wanted to go after him, it wouldn't be that. But,
it depended on how much star power they had. Like, if the Kings, for example, hypothetically, went after Mark Jackson, I think they might allow that. Like, I couldn't even tell you the Kings coaches right now.
You may have to put that in the atmosphere, bro.
I can't. I'm sad. I really can't think of who their coach is right now.
No, I'm saying you should put him becoming the Kings coach in the atmosphere.
That would be a nice, again, he could just do the same thing he did with the Warriors. It's a nice young team of gunners, athletic gunners who get busy. When they want to win, they do it.
Like, they can score, so all you got to do is teach them how to play
defense and team basketball. Like, that's it.
But in regards to the Bulls,
and make De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield, since they didn't trade him to the Lakers. Speaking of deals the Lakers should have fucking made, fucking dicks. You could train those two guards to really, De'Aaron's not a guard.
Hey,
but
first of all, I'm not letting them rock, and I don't want them getting right. So no, I'm glad they didn't make that fucking move, son. But regardless, J. Kidd could have went to the Bulls instead of where he went. That would have been interesting and truthfully nice. You have a fairly young team,
even though his coaching is sketchy.
He coached one team. Well, he coached 1.5 teams.
That's what I'm saying. He's still finding his footing. That's odd. But he's not bad or anything. He's just, again, Steve Nash, first year coach, didn't get credit for what he had to deal with, which is essentially a diva team. And
an injury-prone
diva team with 3 top 20 players on the team.
Which really shows you why he is a Hall of Fame point guard.
Well, also, the respect the man commands. Like, who was going to say anything to Steve Nash?
Son, just get the bag and bring John Stockton out of retirement to coach, son.
Like, beg him. Like, sacrifice a finger of Michael Jordan to the altar in Utah on the banks of the Great Salt Lake.
I'm not sure if the world would end, but if he was like the Bulls coach and they won a championship, son,
it might. That might be the sign of one of the signs of the apocalypse if John Stockton won a title.
That's why I say that. It's like, damn, son, I don't know how to feel about this.
And like as he did it, you would see John Stockton like both laugh and cry, and then cry blood. And it'll be turned out that John Stockton was the Antichrist the whole time.
Either that, or he'll either start crying blood, or just the crazy lights will come out of his eyes on some fucking Big Trouble in Little Chinatown shit.
Word.
That low pan shit, and
Be on that low pan.
And he finally transforms into the demon that he really is.
That he's been hiding this whole time. Demon in short shorts.
Nah, actually not, because if he was a demon, he would have got a chip.
That's true. He would have parlayed those demon magics.
That means he's just a really nice guy, son.
Obsessed with basketball.
In tight shorts.
Well, it helped him play better.
Did they?
Yeah, this nigga was putting up numbers until the end.
Until he started getting yanked by various niggas with incredible fucking handle. But again, that was old Stockton.
Also, yeah, old Stockton, who was dealing with some adobo that had never been seen in the game before. Like,
I'm saying
he wasn't ready for that sham god.
That's true, but that's his fault. That's his fault for spending too much time in Utah.
Yeah, he was too busy eating that flavorless rice. Know what I'm saying? He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for that fucking sazon, son.
I have a whole lot of respect for that man for not becoming a Mormon, son.
Or a bull, or championship chasing, even though he probably should have.
Oh no! He should have been a bull, son.
God.
But they know.
Had been Pippen. Could you imagine that shit?
Nah, but listen, bro. He played with
in '98, right? That was 98, 99.
Oh no! You know what? He should have been. I don't know if he was still playing there, but he should have been a Wizard with J.O. So.
Yeah, I don't know if that was 2000, was it not?
No, that was shit. That was 02.
Yeah, so 02. I think he was done by then. Long done by then.
Well, listen, bro. He played with your man Karl Malone, who you've on.
Fuck Karl Malone.
Exactly. So, if he played with that individual, he could have went to the Bulls for one season and got that chip with J.O. and Pip.
But it wouldn't have been with Jordan because he was out. It would have been just when Pippen was wilding by himself on that team.
No. They were all gone. Pippen was on the Rockets by then.
You're talking about 02?
No. Because remember, everybody left after 98. Pippen left, all of them. Phil, all of them. Pip went to the Rockets for that 1 year because of whatever that dumbass trade was.
They went to Portland.
Then he signed that. He finally got I think he signed, it was some wild shit, 7 years, 60, $4 million, but.
He balled out, though.
Nah.
Not for a long time, but he did ball out.
Jordan should have forced a trade for John Stockton to the Bulls and had his.
But to your logic, and I know now we're going back to old man basketball, why not use that power that he has and had then?
Right.
To LeBron himself, a Sean Kemp, or someone like that.
Oh, no. If we're talking about that, bro. If we're talking about that.
Not that I'm shitting on John Stockton. I'm just saying that,
Well, listen.
Jordan wanted to win, right? So I feel like he would have gone for someone who was the new. You know what I'm saying? That he could fucking put under his wing. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. There was so many. Well, it depends on what year we're talking about. But
well, it would have to be that 98 year,
I don't know, son.
Because that was the end of the Bulls dynasty.
I don't know. Listen, Jordan, or as you said, he could have LeBron shit back in 92 and got Sir Charles on his squad if he really was trying to do something.
Nah, because as Sir Charles has said numerous times,
he's trying to beat him.
He's trying to beat him.
No, that's what he says. But if Jordan really came to this nigga bro, you really ain't trying to play with me?
Yeah, I think he would have refused him.
No, he wouldn't have. He would not have.
When shit was hot and furious, yeah, he would have.
No, he would not.
Because this nigga's pride was such that he thought he could beat Jordan. Later on, absolutely, because this nigga went to the Rockets, didn't he? So
but again, Jordan never approached him.
That's why I'm saying
it.
in that 98 year, because if he would have done it then, that's still enough gas in the tank to get something. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just going through the lore because there could have been a couple of other dudes that.
Also, they didn't have bird rights then.
Of course. But there could have been 95, 96. There could have been at least 3 other dudes that they got outside of fucking D. Rodman. So. I'm saying that,
but it made sense that they got D. Rodman because perception on D. Rodman was he's this, and this, and he does all these things, but that.
That and Jerry Cross didn't even want him.
But he's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
One of the assistants had to be bro, we may want to look at D. Rodman. Son. But,
yeah.
But ultimately, Jordan could have started that shit.
I agree. Remember, he ended the fucking the lockout. So
I see. I'm trying to run through the shit in my mind. He could have. Yeah.
He had the power. I'm just saying, certain players, when much in the way certain players do not want to play with Braun today.
Mm-hmm.
Many players would not play with Mike then. No way.
No. You're
no way.
You're 1,000% right.
Mike was such a dick. There's no way.
The perception was that dudes hated him, but honestly,
it was a combo of that and jealousy.
It was.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't even blame him.
Imagine there's this dude you cannot beat, son. No matter how good you are.
And again,
I would be tight too.
We're talking about a time when, male pride was, I don't want to say way stronger than it is now, but it was a little bit more prominent than it is now. But
well, it figured into like their decision making back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
of course.
The analytics and the metrics of deal making weren't in place like they are now.
You couldn't move and groove the way they are now anyway. So
exactly, someone would leak your conversations. Like,
so no. Back then, if you if you left and went to join another star on their team, it wasn't that they looked at you like a bitch, but. Yo, boy, nobody questioned Clyde going to Houston.
They basically looked at you like you were quitting on your team. No one questioned Clyde because we felt for him so much being the number 2 point guard.
And he was going back home.
That too,
he was going back home with his man.
But your average dude didn't know that. So like your average, being the number 2 shooting guard in the world, niggas.
Was he at that point?
Yes.
Was he?
Yes. Because he was just a notch under Jordan, like in terms of how hard he played, how much he scored.
No, in '92. I'm talking about in '95. Was he? I don't know, boy. I may have taken a Mitch Richmond over him, a Reggie.
Honestly, I might have taken him anyway because again, as so many people are always talking about with the vets, right?
His grizzled.
What he could bring to the young dudes last a lifetime potentially.
Son.
So like
forget the Jerry Curl.
Everybody makes the joke about how
the best Clyde was the ball Clyde, son.
That's the one I love.
That's the best Clyde.
This dude was dunking on dudes.
I'm not even saying that because he won the chip, but that was the best Clyde.
He was the quote unquote old Clyde bugging.
He was
still.
But he's one of the originals outside of Kareem, and honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you, like a lot of them throwbacks from the 60s and the 70s, boy, they had long ass, like, not even 15-year career, but like 18, 20-year careers, son. Shout out to Kevin Willis. But he's definitely one of them individuals they don't mention in the 84 draft, but that man played for 20 years, and I believe he has one chip with the Spurs.
I don't know.
No, he does. I don't know if that was 01 or 03, but I know Kevin Willis was on one of those. He was on one of those. I don't know if that was the Schmitty team, but it was one of those. But when we got to like the 90s and shit, bro, like a lot of them dudes, they lasted, but they didn't have that same longevity because clearly they was getting fucked up.
Well, also the injuries they were getting were new. You know what I'm saying?
All day. And the
niggas didn't know how to deal with a torn ACL. Niggas
medicine
didn't know how to,
wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, but like, once we get to that, clearly that 03 draft and, the 2000s and whatnot, most of them dudes, they lasted, bro. LeBron is still playing. D-Wade played up until, 2018?
Yeah. Also, I mean, he's kind of a special case because injuries made him lose vast chunks of seasons, so he has less miles.
Which is a damn shame because that
definitely.
That
but
he was.
He didn't really get to show us like his greatness.
All right, but you know what?
And in some ways, he's overshadowed by Bron. Unfortunately, even though he's a phenomenal player, he's definitely gonna be when they finally make it. They should make it this year because it's the diamond anniversary this year of the next 25 players on the greatest 50 of all time to make it 75. And
wait, did they announce that?
No, we would have heard about that for sure. They need to. They won't. I don't think they will, but they need to.
No, I think they will, bro. I think they
At
will.
the All-Star
I think
game,
they will.
how cool would that be to have the 75 greatest of all time? Him and Bron are definitely on that, like for sure. So
is there other teammate on that?
Nah, unfortunately. And
No Chris Bosh?
Nah, because there's so many other good players, and it's only 25. That's not a lot.
Yeah, folks.
That's not a lot. Since when did they do the greatest 50? 2000? Earlier? 97? Some shit?
No, the 50? 96.
96, the 50 greatest. So dumb years since then, and a whole basketball age has passed in between then and now, for sure.
Actually, wait. It might have been 98. It might have been 98.
It was closer to 2000.
No, it was 96. It was 96.
It was
96.
It was the late
96.
90s, but like
That was the 75th.
25 is not a lot of spots, is all I'm saying. Like, you could fill those quickly. Like,
No, it's wavy because
of all time, like 25, like
I can always keep up with that because the NBA is always 25 years behind the NFL because they had their 100th year in what was that, 2019 when they had the LS commercial, but NBA is always 25 years behind the NFL. So,
so 75 diamond anniversary.
Yeah.
They need to do that. But D Wade is definitely certified on there for sure.
Yes.
So is Bron, Dirk Nowitzki, Kobe Bryant. No, Kobe was already in the 50, right?
No.
So yeah, Kobe Bryant.
No, he couldn't have been.
He wasn't. Yeah, he couldn't have been. So Kobe Bryant, fucking. Maybe we might do that next episode, the next 25 in the 75 greatest of all time.
I was about to bring that up, bro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That is going to take some research, some long
debate.
hours of
arguing with other fucking NBA marks, man. Arguing amongst each other.
Pretty much like those open court episodes. Because they did the next 10, right?
Yeah, and they were just arguing with that. The next 10.
Nah, boy. They ain't put C-Web in that. I blame your man Reggie for that. But you know what?
Sour grapes.
I won't, because even Reggie said he wasn't supposed to be in that next 10, son. I'll disagree, but
I don't know.
No, that man, he carried the franchise that was in the fucking water for 15 years and took them to a finals, man.
Yes, but they also always had.
No, he's definitely in the next 25. He'll do. For me, he is in the next 10.
I have to look at some players, but the only reason I even have some skepticism is because those players he was on, like, he was never on super bum teams.
No,
they were always contenders. And yes, you could argue that he made them contenders as well because of his mindset and shit and skill set, but like it wasn't just him out there on those teams.
It wasn't, but he was there since '87. Shout out to '87.
Yeah, he's a spirit. You know, he's the all-time pacer, which is funny. What? And I guess we'll kind of cut it off here or wind it down. What? Am I misremembering this? When 2K started putting in historic teams, and they put in that 2000 Pacer team, and he wasn't there. Am I remembering that right? Or they were just missing like mad key players or some shit. Like they had some shit like Austin Crosher, but not Reggie.
You know what? I don't remember that one.
It was a while ago. It was a couple 2Ks ago, but
I don't think I played that one.
I remember being upset when they started.
That might have been 2016, but
when they started adding those teams on there.
No, because I'm thinking because the ones I've played, they didn't have that team on there. Because remember, all right, 2011 was the Jordan Classic. 2012 was that wave that we had. 2013 was kind of whack. 2014 was. 2015 was wavy. So it might have been one of the maybe it might have been 2013, 2014. You're thinking about.
Maybe. But it was just funny. I always thought that was hilarious that they fronted on him that hard.
But what I was looking up real quick was the All-Star game for next season apparently is in Cleveland.
Wonderful.
You know what? Yeah, let's do it, baby. We out there for Cleveland. 100th year anniversary. I'm saying we out there banging with
75th.
75th, excuse me. I'm thinking about the NFL again, but 75th, 7-5, like, you know. They better make sure they get that next 25 right, goddamn it. And again,
Especially in Cleveland.
it may be a riot. Well, clearly, if they're in Cleveland, LeBron will have to be the first one named in that. And
rightfully so. Who
again,
else? Who else besides Kobe and Tim Duncan?
Actually,
or is Tim Duncan in the 50?
No, the first one that will be named will be Kobe, then LeBron, then Timmy, then probably
Dirk Nowitzki.
KG.
Or KG, one of them.
Maybe Dirk. Either Dirk or D Wade.
I feel like LeBron and D Wade will like together wherever they land.
I can see them being on some back-to-back shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit. T-Mac?
Maybe.
All right, well, stand by for
Allen Iverson.
Of course. VC?
I don't know, man. Longevity doesn't really count to me.
He is a Hall of Famer. He's known for his dunks, but he is definitely the one that has been.
I would say yes if AI is. You know what I'm saying? Because of the impact they had on the game.
In different ways, because VC, he's the one that put basketball on the map for Toronto.
But what's the criteria for the next? Because in the 50, all those dudes were like impactful. You know what I'm saying?
And you still have dudes that weren't a part of that probably should be.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Dominique.
Yeah,
again, Reggie. Shit. Kwame Nah. That may be where we need to end it.
Yeah, Kwame Brown for the next one of the greatest 25 players of all time.
Nah, they should come out with the worst 50.
Oh God. That'll take.
Let's see if they do it.
That's research. You just want him to do it so you can say Rasho Nesterovic.
I don't think Kwame is a champion, but on certain days I may take Rasho over Kwame's. I watched a lot of T-Wolf. I'm a KG fan, son. The Candyman, Rasho, as we mentioned earlier, your man Fred Hoiberg. The infamous Wally World, you know what I'm saying?
Wallace World.
Troy Murphy.
Wally Skuzgerbiak.
Anthony Pilla.
Skuzgerbiak.
Oh, no, I used that team in before it was 2K, it was live. And that live. That live 03. Oh, yeah, I got busy with that T-Wolves team, baby. And that bum-ass Nest team.
And I think that's a good place to end it on NBA Live. Tell them who you are. Tell them where they can find you. Tell them why you exist.
I've been light-skinned since 87.
It was a good year.
It was.
I was 3.
A lot of great movies, a lot of good tunes, whatever. A lot of swag. I've probably been a bandit since about 2011.
So a decade of banditry. Do you feel proud of yourself? Do you feel accomplished?
You know what? Yeah, I do.
I like that.
There was a lot of lessons learned, a lot of things seen, a lot of, things done. You know what I'm saying? So I can't complain. But once again, I ain't do it tonight. I may take a flick before I leave, but on the gram, of course, it's Bandit_Light7. Stay tuned for those cast night flicks. Usually it's a flick of some sort of bottle and whatever the fuck we swigging on
and whatever beat you're working on in the background.
Yeah, of course, you know what I'm saying. Maybe no incriminating narcotics, but we'll see.
That's all right. It's just the gram. No one cares.
Yeah, it is what it is. But
and me, the other half of the Triple P, your proprietor, I guess, the other proprietor of the Triple P, management,
1.
executive
5.
vice president, whatever titles and hats you want to attach to a nigga. I've been the Liquid Snake, seller of Fox Dye, fighting niggas on top of Metal Gears, you know what I'm saying? shoot niggas on the back of fucking Jeeps as they try to escape fucking Shadow Moses, know what I mean?
Waiting for the eye patch.
If you don't get the references, look them up, youngins. Y'all should play Metal Gear Solid anyway. You bitch about games being hard. Try that torture chamber, my little niggas. See how well you fare, son.
Holla at that damn fog.
You can reach me at Shining Brizard or Brizzard. I'm never sure. I created that thing, to be Shining Wizard, to be clever.
So Shining Brizzard.
Well, yeah, if we're going by the move name of the Shining Wizard, it has to be the Shining Brizzard. But it sounds like Chicken Gizzard, so I don't know. So sometimes I say Brizard.
So in other words, it should just be Fried Brizzard.
Maybe, eventually. But for now, I like Shining Brizzard.
All day.
It makes me want to do a Shining Wizard to people.
And you should ultimately get the Hurricane outfit. Stand back.
That'll probably take some money from Pro Wrestling Tees or whoever got that.
Pro Wrestler.
Shout out to them. But yeah, reach out to me on Twitter if you want to, talk about how I'm dumb or lame or DM me some titties. You know what I'm saying?
We still need sponsors, specifically alcoholic ones.
Especially alcoholic ones. But now that weed is legal, especially out here in the reaches of East Williamsburg, if there are any dispensaries springing up and you want...
No, just any one of those good apps.
You want your mans to be on it. We got you.
The good old apps.
We gladly play test your weed all day.
We like to explore and give our crave test.
But for now, that's it. Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary royalty.
Scoop, scap, scallywags, tricks, mark-ass tricks. Goonies, trolls, demons, all types of hip-hop hobbits and hobbit hip-hops.
Nah, chill. We don't love them trolls.